and understanding why the players are asking for a 22-week season or wanting a 22-week season?
Yeah, well, it's as you mentioned, that survey was posed to the players last night. One of the questions was, would you be open to the 22-game season? And clearly the players want to play. It doesn't help, I don't think, Robbo, with your comments that are pitting the players against the public in terms of saying all we want to do is play for money. The reason that the players want to play is, one, for the love of the game, but also we understand that there's a massive financial, I suppose, risks at stake at the moment. Clearly, every game that isn't played is costing the AFL, and that is all its stakeholders, of which the players are one, of which the media is one, of which the fans are one. It's costing them $50 to $100 million a game. So, in the pure essence of the question, do you want to play 22 games? Of course we'd love to play 22 games. Foxtel would love us to play 22 games, and the AFL would love us to play 22 games. Can it happen? Look, it's up in the air. The AFL have come out and said that they want the 17-game season. They've given us 40 weeks to play it. Yeah, for mine, I want to play 22 games. It's a full season in entirety, and it's one that I'm passionate about. But clearly, we're not going to put 22 games, 17 games, 15 games, 13 games, any games in front of the fact that if the government comes out and medical officers in all states and the country come out and say it's not safe to play, then it's all bets off, really. So at the moment, the advice, and that was yesterday, the advice for us was that it's safe to play. But as you guys know, and as everyone knows, these things can change in the blink of an eye, and we could be talking about this in a minute's time, and the government said that no more than 10 people can meet up at one time when clearly we can't run the game.
I accept everything you said, Jack. Everything. I'm not pinning the players against the public. There will be people in the public who are going through some really difficult times at the moment, looking at this situation. They love you guys. They love the footy. We've got a situation right now, though. We've got the players v the AFL. And can you tell me that this is not about money?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's the players v AFL. What has happened over the last 4 days, that everyone that's a stakeholder and involved in the industry is they're throwing things at the dartboard and saying, well, why can't we do this? Or what have we thought about this? Have we thought about that? The idea that the players come out and said, look, we are happy to play 22 games, and it's for the betterment of the game. It's for actually the greater purpose of the fact that the game can't go without the players. That's clear. And the AFL will lose a lot of money. People will lose jobs that work at the venues, and the conversations that we're having aren't about us. It aren't about, oh, well, let's get our slice of the pie and not worry about anyone else. We're actually looking at the bigger picture. We're having the conversations that 22 and 26-year-olds might not be having outside of AFL industries about, well, what about this guy that has been at the MCC members for 25 years that might lose his job? We're having those conversations because we see the sense of community as one of, if not the most important thing as well.
Okay, Jack. They've asked for, you say throw a dart at the dartboard. They've asked for 20%. The players will be taking a pay cut, but part of the issue is that the players don't want to fork over 20%. Is that correct or not?
Well, the 20% number's just been thrown out there, I think, for the fact that 5 games off the 22-game season, the 17-game season that the AFL are proposing is around that 20% mark. Now, look, I think at the moment the financial side of it clearly is a really glaring one, but the number one focus at the moment is getting the game actually going and finding out whether we can go out and play the game Thursday night, next week, whenever we actually can get out in the park and play. The financial one, I think, will be a really fluid thing. Now, I don't know whether it's stretched over this year or if we look forward and we think, rightio, we can't sort of cop that hit in 1 year. Let's forecast for 3 years' time to sort of get a moulding and make that ascension back up to where the game should be. But at the moment, there's a lot of commentary around it. And I don't think it's that number one focus. Yes, it will be a focus down the line, but getting the game actually up and going so that we can get people watching the footy and enjoying something is our number one priority.
Eddie, are you involved? Do you get yourself involved in these things as a senior player in the competition?
Well, as Jack said, all we want to do is go out and play footy. We want to get it started. We've been training now for 6 months or 4 months in pre-season, and we want to go out and play the game that we love. And you know, you just talked about it just then. Let's get it going, get it started, give the fans something to watch.
So I'll ask one more on this. Jack, would it have been a powerful statement for the players to come out and say, we are in lockstep with the AFL? If they say it's a 17-game season, brilliant, creative, artful, get us through, whatever you say, we're there at your back to ensure that it happens.
I think that's still actually the sentiment. It's the fact that probably the players got caught unawares, as you said, as Clubland did, in terms of the 17-game season being sort of thrust upon us. We're a key stakeholder. I feel like we should have a fair say in that, and we probably missed the opportunity to have that fair say. Granted, it comes down to Gill's decision, and he's decided to lead that way at this point in time. But look, I think at the moment the players want to play footy. Now, what it looks like, 22, 17, 15, one game. Like, we just want to get out there and play footy. But I must stress that is at the discretion of the government and also how many people can be in one place at once. So if it doesn't work up and the numbers can't stack up, we can't go out there and play with 6 aside.